What are some things that guys misinterpret from women as she's interested in me? What made a guy once think you wanted him while you were like WTF, as if? What are some things that guys misinterpret from women as she's interested in me? Women service sector workers being friendly to them in the course of doing their jobs. I have a young male coworker whose rapport with customers really impresses me. He remembers 100 different people's names, can talk to them about anything, instantly make them feel welcome. I've told him many times this is one of his strengths. One night, I decide to try and incorporate a bit of his techniques, and the first guy I do it to instantly thinks I'm coming on to him, then gets mad when I won't give up my number. Now I'm back to being a robot. I just wanted to be good, sad face. I remember reading a post on Reddit a long while ago about some guy who was having problems booking a plane ticket and used the website's chat feature to try to solve the issue. He became convinced that the woman answering his messages was flirting with him because she used a smiley face emoji and didn't exit the conversation once the issue was resolved. Having worked in places like that, we were told not to be the one to exit the conversation first in case the customer has an additional query that they forgot to mention. This guy missed her and wondered if she was thinking about him too. The answer is, she absolutely is not. Wow. Woo wow wow. Wow. What a beautiful haiku. I used to live with someone who was one of these chat people. Never anything sexual, just legit customer service. They worked for a overall chat company that serviced a number of companies, banking stuff, shopping sites, art valuation, etc. One was a ladies' clothing site. My friend's chat persona and name was female. I think it's kind of assigned randomly when you start, and if it's for a female targeted company like women's clothes or underwear, it was always a female chat name. I remember watching my mate work from home and doing sales returns on bras as Sandra. My friend is a man. There's a very good chance this guy posting was chatting to a bald bearded dude with a female chat name, like many people did with my friend. OMG, that's hilarious. Now I'm low-key hoping that whatever airline company that dude was trying to contact had outsourced all their chat people to India, and the woman this dude is pining after is actually a balding 50-year-old man in Uttar Pradesh or some sweaty neckbeard in Michigan. Being employed in a bar and serving him. Dude, I'm required to be polite. You are older than my dad, and I can smell you from here. I do not have a thing for you. Accidentally making eye contact on the train. This happened to me. I was standing on the train staring in front of me, zoning out as you do. This guy who was in my line of vision thought I must be staring at him. So he came and stood right in front of me and asked if it was okay for him to stand there. Then proceeded to hit on me and boost himself up as to why I should talk to him. I just turned up my music and ignored him. After a few stops of doing this, he got the hint. Also, a creepier thing happened on the train while I was traveling with my son. This guy sitting in front of me was smiling at my kid and trying to talk to him. Then he whipped out his phone, started taking pics. As soon as I picked up my phone to take a pic of him, he ran out the train. People are ducking creeps. Jesus. Was the guy blatantly taking the pictures or trying to hide it? I can't imagine the frame of mind you'd have to be in to attempt that. Looking at him, being polite and friendly, being alive nearby. That was almost a haiku. Is that a sign that she likes me? Wondering emoji. A classmate, G, in college, and I met up to peer review for our senior semester 3 or 4 times. Years later, I ran into a mutual friend, K, and she said she was so glad that G and I dated, or else we, K and I, never would have been friends. I was like, dated? And she was like, yeah, I remember G always talking about how you guys were dating in the last semester. Oh, don't you love it when guys unilaterally decide you're dating them? Happened to me with an internet friend I had. He was so excited to tell all his real life buddies that he finally had a girlfriend. Lol, nope. Even better when you're bullied by a guy and then the next year his friends come up to tell you that you dated him. LMAO. I had a kind of similar experience. A boy was so mean to me throughout high school and we ended up at the same university. At university he told all his friends I was hot and they came to tell me. Maybe his backwards way of asking me out, or another trick. I never entertained anything having to do with him, so we'll never know. I was 16 and working at a horse barn. One of the ultra rich ladies had a houseboy, that's what she actually called him, OMG, that would come and assist her at the barn with whatever she needed. His car wouldn't start one day. I offered to give him a jump start. It didn't work because there was something else wrong with the car. Oh well, that's the end, right? He started calling every day, first to thank me for being so nice, then just to talk. I would get off the phone as soon as I could, but I didn't want to be rude, right? He asked me how old I was. I told him the truth, that I was 16, thinking that would set him straight. It didn't, and he cheerfully told me he was in his mid-30s. It was with a tone of like, oh, you like chocolate? Well, I like vanilla. Isn't funny that we are different yet get along so well? Ducking yikes. He kept asking me out on dates. I would try and politely refuse. Again, don't want to be rude, do I? I kept emphasizing I was still in high school and had little time for dates. He asked me if he could take me to prom. I started to get scared then. I couldn't for the life of me figure out why this mid-30s guys wanted to be with a 16-year-old loser with a curfew. Wouldn't older women who didn't live with their parents be much more appealing? Ugh, but he kept calling. Finally, one day the phone rang and a lot of the rich horse ladies were there and they saw me panic and could tell something was up. I told them what was up. I will never forget this one woman marched over to the phone. It was that dude. She gave him the most epic scolding. Then she contacted security. This place was very fancy with security gates and had him banned from the premises. She also followed up with the lady who he was working for and told her all about it. After she got off the phone with him, she sat me down and gave me a serious talking to about how to handle this shit in the future. That has served me very well in life. I really appreciate those rich horse ladies for teaching me how to stand up for myself. I tried to pay for my coffee. He worked at the coffee stand. IDK, it was weird. Apparently being polite whilst ordering my beverage meant it was a green light to try and ask for my number and then lean over the bloody counter and kiss me on the cheek as I was about to walk away. I was 19 at the time and had no clue what was happening. If he is really interested in me, then almost anything I do can be misinterpreted. Laughing when they say something funny. Being physically close, even if it's because we're in a small space with lots of other people and it can't be avoided. Smiling, just like I do to other people. Just generally being a friendly person. It's just treating them like I treat other guys I'm friends with, but those guys won't take these things as signs I'm interested in them because they aren't hoping for signs that I'm interested. This is the main reason I won't ask out acquaintances, cowhawkers, or friends. I stick to strangers or Tinder matches because I know I'm guilty of this exact thing and I really don't want to put someone in a position that they have to either try to let me down easy or shoot down one of their friends. I'm trying to figure out if it's sad that the new norm in society is never ask out anyone you didn't meet specifically for that purpose. I mean, I guess it leads to fewer awkward situations, but isn't it like draining all the spontaneity out of love? It is sad, I can tell you right now that I will never have an interest in the whole hookup culture / any sort of dating services. Every girl I've had an interest or more with came from a clique of mine and was initially my friend for a bit. The volatility of trying to make something happen with someone you know little about is just unappealing to say the least. Just the sheer fact that we are being nice to them. Just because I'm nice to you doesn't mean I'm into you, dude. Especially women at work who have to be polite to the customers, and then the men that interpret this as she digs me. She is either working for the tip or trying not to get fired. My husband used to work with a guy who went to Hooters almost every day for lunch because he wanted to see his waitress. Aside from how gross it is that a 50-something married man has his waitress, it was also so weird that he could never get it through his head that she was so nice. Course, it was literally her whole job to be nice to earn those tips. He was convinced she actually liked him and thought he was hilarious and would regularly tip like 50% of his bill to her. Well, hell yeah, she's going to be extra nice to you. Doesn't mean she likes you, bud. Husband doesn't work there anymore, but I sometimes wonder about his old coworker and his imaginary relationship with the Hooters waitress.